Welcome everyone and thank you for joining us today's webinar. My name is Sunny Makhija and I'm a Senior Insight Sales Executive at Crave Infotech. Today we are presenting on Intelligent Warehouse using SAP technology in life science industry, which will be presented by Cam Patterns and Mr. Shrikant Nistane. Cam represents the Global Center of Excellence organization of SAP's digital supply chain portfolio since 2013. He is responsible for defining, communicating and supporting the go-to-market strategy which leads business development and deal executions. In May 2007, Cam began his SAP career in the North American consulting organization with a strong focus of implementing SAP transportation management. He helped author the TM curriculum, delivered the training as an instructor, providing knowledge transfer to customer partners and colleagues. He has been a recipient of SAP Distinguished Service Excellence Awards multiple times of his contribution for his contribution as a ramp-up coach, trusted advisor and principal consultant. Prior to joining SAP, Cam served in a variety of industries, providing expertise and thought leadership in rail and ocean transportation management. He has more than 25 years of experience as a consultant and practitioner specializing in supply chain strategy and business management. And now from Crave Infotech, we have Shrikant Nistane. He is a digital transformation enthusiast, experienced in SAP Digital Core, Enterprise Asset Management, Enterprise Mobility, and Cloud Platform. He has more than 27 plus years of industry experience, helping organization in wide range experience with technology and technological changes for multiple lines of business. Now, without any further ado, I would like to hand over to Cam to start the presentation. Over to you, Cam.
Hey, thank you, Sunny. Welcome everybody to today's webinar with SAP and Crave Infotech. I think it's still early enough that we can say Happy New Year, and I hope that everyone has a great 2021. Excited to be here and share with you some newer solutions. I know we're going to get into extended warehouse management where Crave Infotech or Shrikant will walk you through their capabilities as well as what they've done with our customers in that space. But I wanted to frame it up, share with you some newer solutions that complement our extended warehouse management solution. And so with that said, giving you a little bit of background or setting the stage, if you will, for how SAP looks at logistics. So what you're seeing here is our solution portfolio for logistics, where the key thing to note is that all of our solutions are integrated and out of the box and able to support those end-to-end best business practices based on business processes from a variety of industries from around the globe in terms of our customer adoption and working with them and understanding their needs. So we think about logistics from response orchestration, where we say available to promise. So as soon as a sales order is created, we're able to identify based on our customer prioritization, how do we best serve our customers based on the inventory we have available. Moving into our warehouse management and yard logistics solutions, we can support full end-to-end processes for all types of warehouses for companies that have complex warehouses, highly automated, and you're going to hear a lot more, to just customers who have maybe less complex operations, but still have a need to understand and how to better optimize and leverage those resources. With our yard logistics solutions, we're able to complement those yard activities. So customers typically with large yards supporting either rail yards, container yards, or just have a lot of congestion and want to better streamline how they work with their carriers coming in and out of the yards, as well as identifying where different assets such as containers or rail cars are located to optimally help either load or unload to get those goods where they need to be. And finally, we have our transportation management solution in order to help facilitate all of the logistics around planning, whether it's consolidation of loads, whether it's tendering and exploring, finding new carriers, collaborating with them. All of that can be accomplished with our cloud-based solutions that you see on the right, our logistics business network, to help give you that visibility for tracking and tracing your shipments, as well as the status of your sales orders or purchase orders, all the way through ultimately the proof of delivery and finally invoicing the customer. And then lastly, where I want to spend the next several slides and time with you is to share with you our newest solution in our portfolio, Warehouse Insights, which is predicated on the fact that it is a cloud-based only solution. We developed and designed it specifically to augment and support our extended warehouse management solution. And you can see here, the reason we developed it is because we realize and recognize that our customers are wanting not only a cloud-based solution, but they need better support in terms of how are they optimizing and managing their warehouse on top of just the normal picking activities and the warehouse tasks that have to be managed. This is an opportunity for us where we saw customers wanting to be able to better manage how they use their warehouse resources. Given the fact that we are still in this pandemic, we understand that folks need to be socially distanced, so there's probably a reduction in terms of the warehouse workforce and who can be on the floor. So optimization really is going to be top of mind and key. If you could go on the next slide, Shrikant. So when we think about this Warehouse Insights, we developed it to be an advanced planning tool for modern warehouses to optimize their warehouse operations. We have algorithms. I'm going to share with you how you can visualize not only looking at your warehouse layout, but being able to analyze your warehouse operations based on the KPIs that are important to you. Be able to do simulations so you get a sense of, before you actually make a decision, what the outcome would look like. And so that's how you know there's the optimization has been complementary to your strategy. We're able to also support taking in other various IoT type of data to help with this solve. So this tool will complement our EWM functionality and capabilities, leveraging the cloud computing, so giving you that scalability. But what we don't want you to think is that this is a new warehouse management system. It will not do your execution tasks such as your pick or put away. So it's really meant to complement and give you the intelligence and the insights around optimization. Continuing on, Shrikant. So when we looked at the interactivity of the warehouse, the first thing to understand or to know is that we're able to give you that visualization of the warehouse layout. You're not only going to see how your warehouse has been laid out, but you can also start to look at different sections of your warehouse and do analysis. And so for us, the key is to improve that visibility and give you that control in your warehouse processes. Next slide, Shrikant. So when we start to want to understand and dissect what's going on, what you were seeing in these slides is that not only are you able to identify different sections and storage areas of your warehouse, but you're able to get down to the bin level and start to really interactively see how you have your items within the warehouse, so that you can also, when you're doing your optimization or simulation solves, start to see, is this really the best way in terms of how you're storing and placing your materials depending on the location. Continuing on, Shrikant. So In order to help do simulations and optimizations, you first need to have the network model created. The network model literally is a mapping, if you can imagine geo coordinates of each of your bins, your aisles, the edges, so that when SAP or our Warehouse Insights tool is optimizing or running, there's literally a distance scenario or travel path that is being considered. And so in these next several slides, you're going to see how understanding the network model, how the data would be ingested for optimization. Continuing on, we look at the simulation of orders, right? So we can see based on the orders that you have available, what it would look like from a travel distance and the number of resources being used to support that shift's activities. And when we think about resources, they could be people, or they could be pallet jacks, or if you had automated forklifts, you could use forklifts as well as a resource in a solve in order to understand the demand for that day, how much you're going to need in order to maximize and efficiently get your goods out of the warehouse. Continuing on, Shrikant. So once your simulation has been completed, you can then assess and look at the KPIs or the metrics that are important to you to see, yes, indeed, I saved time, I saved resources, all of which ultimately translates into money. Continuing on, Shrikant. And so after you've done the simulation, you could literally then run the solve. You could execute against that. And then looking after warehouse management or extended warehouse management, which is really doing the picking, the packing, and all of the other true execution activities. Because remember, Warehouse Insights is a planning tool, not a execution tool. Using the resource KPI dashboard will ultimately allow you to see, did what you plan in terms of your simulations turn out to be what happened when you ultimately executed with those resources. Continuing on, Shrikant. And so when you start to do that analysis and you see that there are perhaps opportunities to improve, one of the other tools we offer is a warehouse heat map. This heat map could show you that if you had an optimization that suggested 20 minutes of savings, and in reality, the warehouse workers ended up not realizing that 20 minutes, you can do an assessment with the heat map. You can see where the number of items were picked based on color coding, suggesting, if we went with red, yellow, green, that red means that that item was picked many times throughout the day, or that aisle was traveled to many times throughout the day. You can start to understand and maybe decongest the warehouse by knowing how items have been picked, or the demand in terms of your inventory, et cetera. And that might be an opportunity to rearrange your warehouse layout to support a more efficient path for your workers throughout the day. And finally, one last slide before I turn it over. Warehouse Insights is out of the box, ready to integrate to EWM, so you get a sense of the flow. And with that said, I'd love to pass it over to Shrikant so he can share with you more about what his company or Crave Infotech has done to help our customers using warehouse management. Thank you.
Thank you, Cam. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining this exciting session. So you have seen what's coming new into the EWM. Very cool about all the heat map and everything. I think we dreamt of for years. It's now in the in the pipeline, and it's in the works for us to start using it. But we have to get to the reality sometime, and that's where we come into picture. And just wanted to share what we do, right? So we at Crave Infotech, this is basically how the digital supply chain environment is laid out from the SAP's toolset perspective. You have EAM, you have EWM, logistics, and IBP. We have pretty good presence into EAM, EWM, and logistics side. Today's focus is EWM. So EWM, if you look at EWM, is the top dark blue section. Here, of course, is SAP EWM. We also do WM if there is a need. The focus is EWM, indoor routing, barcode and RFID enablement, and we also have Fiori and mobile application, which sits on top of the EWM and makes your user interface very interactive. It's more user interface and performance improvement application than just a mobile application. So how we start the journey? It's very difficult. Our experience indicated that a lot of our customers, they are not aware where they are on the warehouse or intelligent warehouse journey. And so we work very closely with companies like Zebra and of course SAP, and we have created this maturity model. So it's a warehouse maturity model. It's divided into 5 phases and determine based upon your preparedness where your organization is on the maturity model. And this is basically complementary. We work with you, and a set of questions allows us to identify and share with you where you are. And then from there, we can help you to also create a roadmap to get you from wherever you are to the 5th phase of the maturity model. Okay. And this is another diagram which illustrates where you are and helps us to find out what we can do best together or on your own to get you into the final phase of the full automation. What are the different deployment options for EWM? So these are the different scenarios: EWM and SCM server, SAP EWM standalone, SAP EWM as an add-on, EWM and SCM. So these are the 3 different scenarios, which are basically, one is with ECC and another is with S4HANA. Now, regarding our portfolio, right? We have definitely we work with you different processes. Now, these can be in your outbound processes, storage and operation, inbound process, transit, cross-dock warehousing, distribution warehousing, production warehousing. It can be anywhere. So we basically work with you in specific area within your organization and see how we can help you to leverage the EWM functionality for your process improvement and and reduction in the errors, improving the process efficiency within the organization. Just I know a lot of you probably using WM right now, and what are the key differences, right? The transactions. In case of EWM, they are GUI and Fiori both. So there is a Fiori front end comes into picture, which also can be used on mobile. And then we bring in on top of that productivity apps, which are complementary to whatever the Fiori apps are provided by EWM. Warehouse number is 3 character in WM and 4 character in EWM. Storage section is mandatory. It's not mandatory. So this is, you'll get this deck and you can read this at your leisure. So there are key differentiations between WM and EWM other than the bunch of processes, right? The EWM is capable of handling more complex processes and collecting right information at the right place and providing you that visibility throughout the whole supply chain process. There is a lot of best practice content available for EWM. I'll just move on, and you will have this when you share the slides. So what are the different types of warehouses where EWM is most suitable? Of course, almost all, right? Production warehouse, distribution centers, service parts warehouses. And we have one of the example of that today. I'm going to talk about that. And cross-dock or transit warehouse. This is this diagram, this slide. It's pretty crowded slide, but very helpful. Illustrates what is available in which EWM version, right? EWM 5.1 until S4HANA 1909, and they are clearly color coded. And which are the core processor on the top, and the supporting areas on the bottom, and the middle is the cross functionality. So very handy. You should use that, or you can use that once you get the deck. Let's talk about the success story. So this is our first success story. It's a large multinational network infrastructure organization. They have presence in 19 countries, 39 locations, and we were hired to help them to optimize their processes and move them from Windows-based devices to the Android, in addition to the implementation of the SAP processes. So it was a 9-month exercise, starting from the business blueprint until the rolling out throughout the whole country. So we basically took care of implementation of the EWM warehouse solution, then implementation of our productivity apps, Fiori productivity apps, and replacement of their existing old hardware, which was due for refresh, and packaging and rolling out throughout the whole globe. So that's our first use case. The second use case is very relevant to our today's topic, is the pharmaceutical company. So life sciences pharma. In this organization, basically the warehouse EWM is implemented for MRO spares management. These are around 20,000 spare parts each plant. There are total, for the first phase, there are total 12 plants. This organization has around 40. So we started with 12. And so MRO spares, and then now it has been extended to the raw material warehouse too. So again, pretty large implementation of the EWM in the SAP side, hardware, implementation of the productivity apps. Even we did barcoding for this organization. We helped them to with management consulting and the supply chain expertise to ensure that their warehouses are labeled correctly, they are laid out correctly, their spares are laid out correctly, so they have right spares available. So high frequency spares are at the upfront of the warehouse, and the low frequency are at the back, and also the QR coding the spares. Now in the second phase, we are working with them to RFID enable some of the high value spares, because they want to make sure that those spares are not going out of the warehouse without any permission. If something goes, they know that, and so they are using RFID for high value spares. This is these are some of the pictures. So QR codes gives all the details about the item. So whenever you scan, you know what the spares are and what's the current quantity and all that stuff. This is how, because these spares are pretty small, right? This is how they were before we started. And these were the devices used to manage them. This also includes the outside small yard, which is on the top, which has the liquid nitrogen, other gas storage too. And this is very important because in pharma, it's a regulated industry, right? Life sciences. And there is very important aspect of this is the tracking the QR code and barcode. So whenever they are printed, you need to make sure they are tracked. You are not duplicating them. If you are duplicating them, you capture the reason. So there is a specialized report developed to meet your GMP and FDA regulatory requirements. So that is also included as part of the process. These are the screenshots of these organizations. These are the screenshot of these organizations. This is by mistake. This is somewhere got copy paste. My apology. I think this PepsiCo should not be here. So these are the screenshot how this productivity app looks like. If you see, it covers almost everything: put away, supply return, plant transfer, bin-to-bin transfer, physical inventory, issue reservations, return reservations, issue order, return order, issue sales order, QR label print. So you can print the labels out in the field, bin and QR scan, and QR label reprint. And this is all tracked in the backend. Now, what is driving this all, right? I'm going to focus on the mobility and the user interface side of it because it's very important in many organizations. We have seen all these, right? SAP console, tech console, ITS mobile, green screen, black screen, blue screen, and it's just not productive. We have Fiori available with this user interface, and that's those productivity apps we bring to the table. Also, it helps you to simplify your architecture. There is no middleware, there is no latency, and easy to maintain and manage. So if we have to summarize what kind of warehouse automation solutions we provide, so of course end-to-end warehouse ERP solution, that's ECC, S/4HANA on-premise or S/4HANA cloud. It can be WM or it can be EWM, both of them. Then we can help you to barcode or QR code your warehouse and also the parts or the spares or raw material or finished goods, whatever it is. We can also RFID them, depends upon your need. And then after that, once you have this SAP backend is set up, you have barcoded or QR coded or RFID'd your items, you need a mobile solution, and that's where we come handy to identify, analyze your use case, the business requirements, and find out what type of solution or the productivity apps are most appropriate for. Also, we work with you to find out the right hardware for that, because you know there are so many different hardwares available. Depends upon the scanning range, depends upon the use case, whether it's forklift used, operated picking, or it's somebody walking on the floor and he can pick the items, and so many different scenarios are involved. So we help you to create a matrix by which you can identify what is most important and what kind of productivity apps you need. And once you have that decided, we can also, our application is forklift integrated, so we can automate the whole forklift management process. In addition to that, we have hands-free picking, mobile computing devices and finger scanner, augmented reality using smart glasses, and finally voice-activated picking. So this is all we can provide you as an end-to-end solution for making your warehouse intelligent. A little bit about us. We are a 13-year-old company. There are 3 companies with whom we work most. SAP, of course. We have sell, build, and service all the 3 authorizations. We are a Zebra's premium ISV and reseller, and we work very closely with Here Technology. This is where we are able to provide the indoor routing as a part of the solution. Headquartered in New Jersey and global physical presence in India, Africa, and also Europe. So what are we passionate about? And I'm just summarizing this. Of course, SAP Intelligent Enterprise, which is S4, EWM, cloud platform, our prepackaged solutions, RFID and mobile computing technology, and geo enablement. For warehouse, enterprise asset management, field service and supply chain, these are the 3 key areas we work with our customers. This is just a sample list of our customers, a bunch of life sciences, pharma customers, happy customers. This is actually a complete list of our prepackaged apps. There are around 50 plus. Out of that, 14 grouped apps are already posted on SAP App Store. You can always check for us under the App Store under Crave Infotech. They are into EAM, supply chain, product lifecycle management, order to cash, management dashboard, HCM, MDM, and healthcare. So with that, this comes to the end. I think we have tried to give you a quick overview within 30 minutes about what's new coming in. And Cam spoke about what is new into the EWM, newer version, and how we can help you to meet your goals and also regulatory requirements, especially into life sciences industry, with the multiple success stories into the MRO spares management, raw material management, and also the finished goods management. So feel free to reach out to us. Bring your top 3 digital transformation challenges into the intelligent warehouse journey. We also do POCs and help you to expedite your journey. These are the contact details. And with that, we'll open up for, if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer those. I don't see anything typed. You can type that into the Q&A or also into the chat. I see Anju is raising hand. Sunny, could you unmute so that people can speak?
Yeah, I'll just unmute Anju right now. Just a minute.
Yeah, just unmute everybody. That's fine. Anju, go ahead. I think Anju, you are on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Your pre-built software SAP certified, or when you say are you implementation partner? What kind of relation you have with SAP?
Yeah. Excuse me. So we are SAP's partner, and we have a special relationship under the build partnership where we co-innovate. These applications are validated by SAP, and they are also on the App Store. And they are also validated by Zebra. So our applications, when they come to you, they are ready to go on a enterprise grade hardware, because enterprise grade hardware, they need to be well designed to understand how to invoke screens, how to use effectively the integration with local, like scanner, camera, and keyboards. That's all taken care of it.
Yeah, our version is like ECC 6, and we are on announcement package 7.
No problem.
If I'm not sure, from the theory, point of view, to what extent we can use, or do we need to, enhance the package level?
No, you don't. You're good. Anything above Service Pack 5 is fine.
Okay.
Where are you located, and could you tell us about your organization?
Yeah, we are located in Bethel. Our corporate office is in Bethlehem, and we have presence in California, Texas, Florida, and Dominican Republic.
What's the name of your company, please, Anju?
Bebron Medical Inc. I think I typed my email ID in.
Please,
the chat.
Please.
Right, yeah.
I forgot to ask one thing is, please feel free to type your name and the email address and the organization, because it's very difficult to find out who. That will be very helpful, and we'll continue to provide you information. Yes, Sanju. Any great question?
I think, since you guys are in New Jersey, we are probably maybe 30-40 miles away from you.
Yes.
What we would like to do is, maybe discuss further and see how we can engage you in some of the projects that we are doing.
Absolutely. Are you guys coming to office? We'll be happy to come and meet you.
Yeah, due to COVID and all, we need to see what options are there. Yeah, we are more be happy to have you.
Or we can schedule something and get you more. So
so
we have your.
Where we will be interested is to understand, to what extent you can, provide us. Maybe after this meeting, we can have a separate, call and discuss further activities.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anju. I appreciate it. If you are available, please stay back and we can have a separate conversation. No problem. Thank you.
And what other thing will help us is if you have, say, any client in and around of, say, Pennsylvania, it will be helpful for us to kind of do a visit if possible and look at their operations where you have done those.
We can definitely discuss about that.
Yeah, sure. Okay, that's all I had for now.
Thank you, Anju. Anybody else? Oleg, do you have any question?
No, I don't.
Okay.
It's interesting, the integration with the heat map, the app that you developed on the Fiori. It's very similar to some of other SAP's partners, like Connected Forklift. There is an app, I think, I don't remember who developed, and it is very useful in this new digital transformation era. For all the analytics, for the supply chain visualization is for a better perception.
Where are you located, Oleg?
I am located in Romania, Bucharest.
Armenia. Oh. Wow, you're joining from Armenia. Very good.
Not Armenia, Romania.
Romania.
Dracula's
Romania.
country.
Yes, Romania. Yeah, I know. Romania is very famous for weightlifters, right?
We're famous for a lot of things.
A lot of things, right? But in Olympics, right? A lot of Romanians in the weightlifting and also, that's one of probably area. Yeah. Very good. How can we help you?
I think your product is very useful, and it will lead to more customers to you.
Okay.
Very useful.
Can you share your email address and other details, Oleg, so that we can keep you informed?
When I joined in, I put my email address and company name.
Okay.
I hope there you have this data.
Sunny, do you have
Yes,
Oleg's details?
We have.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? Dan, Gabriel, Jill, Satyajit, Shaila, any questions? Excellent. Cam, would you like to add anything for closing?
Sure. Again, thank you everyone for taking time to attend. Not only is Crave Infotech considered one of our premier partners in the EWM space, but they also support other areas of SAP's portfolio. If you're not familiar with our portfolio, we're focusing on what we call design to operate, essentially leveraging the idea of a digital thread throughout the life cycle of your product, which we call a digital twin. So we can support your company if you're manufacturing widgets, all the way from the design to the manufacturing to the delivering, and then finally keeping your lights on in terms of the operation. So our supply chain portfolio is pretty vast. extended warehouse management is just one solution of many. And so if you have interest, I implore you to check out SAP.com, where you can find out all things around our digital supply chain, or you can reach out to Shrikant, and we can certainly have a follow-up call with your company, SAP and Crave Infotech. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Cam. Appreciate that. Anju, do you have a few minutes? We can reach out to you. I don't know if we have your number. Yeah, if you could type privately or whatever it is, we'll give you a call and we'll have a follow-up chat. Thank you.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I'll type it in this chat.
Sure. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day.
Thank you, John.